department. I'm here to present to you our fiscal year 2025 recap. It's going to be an overview because volunteers do a lot in the city, and if you want more detail, we're happy to get back to you. Okay, so first up, we'll just take a little look at the overall numbers. In 2025, we engaged 4,630 volunteers. That's overall, not unique volunteers. These volunteers gave to the city 14,879.15 hours. Volunteers do a lot in the city, and we'll show you that throughout the presentation, but one of the things that they do is collect litter from our parks, streets, trails, and beaches during volunteer cleanup. In the year 2025, they cleaned up 63,455.14 pounds of litter. That's equivalent to 31.7. That does include the storm cleanups. To give a simple calculation of the value that volunteers provide to the city, we'll just take the amount of hours that we gave by a simple wage of 16 pounds, and that is equal to $238,066.40. Of course, you try to quantify the spirit that they bring, that's just priceless.
That's the guy that trespassed me.
Culture of service, civic engagement, environmental stewardship, and community within the city of Clearwater. A couple of other quick stats here. The events with the greatest number of volunteers and hours in 2025 were the Clean Up Clearwater, with 776 volunteers over the course of 1 week. And then we also have the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational, and that was 485 volunteers over the course of just 4 days. All right, now for the fun part, I'm going to take you through. You're going to get to look at these pretty pictures while I talk to you about what volunteers do in the city of Clearwater. Volunteers participated in important environmental and beautification projects throughout the city in 2025. You'll see here a variety of those kinds of projects, from volunteers collecting recyclable items at the Sea Blues Festival in that top left corner there, to adopt program cleanups, plant removals, weeding, gardening, volunteers, even seeing stickers and graffiti from the pictures along the beach. So if you notice that difference this year, that was volunteers. We had 29 adopt groups this year working diligently on these projects all across the city. Additionally, volunteers were at practically every event in the city, from rec center community celebrations to large special events. You could find smiling volunteers running game stations, speaking tickets, greeting guests, and so much more. A notable special project they got to work on this year was being volunteer actors in the active assailant training exercise that our police and fire departments are on. So that was really cool. We should win an Oscar for that one. And yeah, a very notable part of the volunteer program that's kind of a section in and of itself is the program housed at Moccasin Lake Nature Park. This facility hosts daily dedicated volunteers, including both general park volunteers and volunteers specifically dedicated to assisting with the Birds of Prey program, which is an entirely volunteer program housed at the park. In the fiscal year 2025, volunteers gave over 2,200 hours just to Moccasin Lake Nature Park. They are there every single day.
Wow.
And I do have a little video here where the volunteers speaking, so we'll see.
Just a lot of unique experiences with getting to interact with the animals that are endangered and feel like you're helping, to preserve the wildlife in the area, and then it just feels great to give back to the community. The other thing that I like about it is I started here with my oldest son. He was getting his Bright Futures hours for the college scholarship, and so that kind of to have build a relationship with my son, but then also learn new things and learn about wildlife and get a relationship with the birds. It's been really rewarding.
That's just one of the many experiences of volunteers at that park. The City of Clearwater, we also partner annually with Keeping All's Beautiful, a nonprofit with the mission to conserve and beautify our natural environment by means of community engagement and education. In the fiscal year 2025, Keeping All's Beautiful engaged 3,071 volunteers just in Clearwater. They completed 94 educational presentations and 153 community projects with volunteers, just in Clearwater as well. Okay, now for the fun part, I would like to present some volunteers, some amazing volunteers with awards. Some of them are here this evening, so if you are here, can you come up when I call your name? And then maybe you could take a group picture. Okay, so firstly, we have the volunteer who did the most hours at one-time events and projects throughout 2025. This person is one of the first volunteers I personally met when I started the city and has consistently been a loyal, dedicated volunteer who serves as a friendly face that our local families come to expect, especially at our rec center events. During fiscal year 2025, she volunteered at 15 events serving multiple different rec centers parks across the city. And that volunteer is Jane Grossman. Alright, so next up is the Community Champion Award. This award goes out to someone whose volunteer service to the city has created an entire culture and guest attraction for visiting families. This volunteer comes to Moxon Lake Nature Park every Wednesday for the now famous Guest Day, in which she provides reptile education to guests, allowing them the opportunity to touch, observe, and learn about reptiles. This program serves tourists, locals, homeschooling groups, and more than that. They also serve the community through great American teaching programs and more. The Community Champion Award goes to Dennis Speaker. Alright, not sure if this volunteer is here, but we'll honor her. So this is for the volunteer with the best attitude. And I can honestly say that I don't think I've ever seen this volunteer without a smile. She shows up with a positive spirit for every project, from gardening at Coachman Park to being a volunteer actor at the Outfitted Sandwich Training, and helping the VIP area at the Clearwater Celebrates America event. This volunteer also makes everyone around her smile. And that is Miss Edna.
I got that. Oh.
Okay, this next award goes to a volunteer for the Longtime Service Award. This volunteer has been serving the city of Clearwater for over 20 years as a volunteer. She has participated in waterway cleanups, rec center events, special events, and she even led an Adopt a Street effort on Druid Road for 20 years. The Longtime Service Award, it goes to Diane Ingram. Oh, she's going bad. It's okay. Thank you for letting me go through these. We have a lot of awesome volunteers in the city. All right, this one couldn't be here today, but I'm calling him the keeper of the land. He was nominated by Lloyd Simmons and Lonnie Walker at Mountain Park. He dedicates his own time, energy, and resources towards tending to the park, building bird gardens, maintaining the bird feeders and water dishes at the park, as well as consistently contributing to other tasks around the park. And so that is Lou Peterson. And next is an outstanding Birds of Prey volunteer. This volunteer stands out to the leaders of the Birds of Prey program for her hard work, dedication, passion, and adeptness with the rescue birds on the property. You've seen her face once already. That's Chris Adkins. Last but not least, I have the honor to recognize 4 volunteer coaches. I think only a couple of them could be here today. But these volunteers were nominated by the rec centers where they volunteer at. They all go above and beyond the college duty. Coaching basketball is just the start of what these volunteers do. More importantly, they create meaningful connections between youth in our city and provide a safe space for children to learn, grow, and connect. So we have Adam Orris, Faith Burek, and Sean Scorbett from Countryside, and Rocco Lozani from Redwood.
Oh. Hi Sue, hi Ren, hi Buttercup, hi Marcy.
And then I'd love to get a group photo with them.
Yeah, and just before you do, just thank you so much for what you do for our city and our citizens. You know, every time I go to, a holiday or a fall harvest festival at one of our rec centers, it's largely staffed by volunteers. People are coming out there to make it a fun event for the kids. And, whether you're coaching or whatever role you're playing at Moxie Lake, you make such a difference in this community. We couldn't do many things we do without you and your volunteering. So thank you so much. On behalf of the city council, on behalf of all the citizens, thank you for what you do.
City council meeting. Look at my forehead. Oh, they're all getting a picture.
So when he put his resignation in, he can't ask for severance and all that stuff. He can't ask for, oh, we got somebody can look at it. So Nina on Monday recommends he's gonna get probably over $100,000 for quitting. Which is, I mean, he's actually
Well,
good.
I know that's why
He
we
should
don't want him to
stay.
quit.
Right. So I don't mind that he's getting
No, I don't want
Everything's
that.
always such a game. Everything's such a grift. I mean, it's a grift on Nina's part.
Oh, totally. Well, they're setting themselves up for the future.
Right.
Thank you, nice people. Not Scientologists doing nice things for the town, actually doing real things.
Yeah, you come back now and you're Scientologist.
Before we move into the next item, just to remind folks that if you want to address the council tonight, please complete a comment card. The comment cards are located
No, that's for
to
the
the
items.
right of the desk. And folks,
I don't
please
think
use the card.
it was too soon. They have to have a certain
That
amount
would
of
move
days
to item
before the
5.1 on the agenda.
Approved
No, we
minutes
can't
of the
change the
December
agenda.
4th, 2025 city council meeting.
It doesn't apply for tonight. But they have the regular agenda.
All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Move to item 5.2.
Amend the September 18, 2025 City Council meeting minutes. Council members, I forgot to include an e-comment, although the action of the item does not change. We did receive an e-comment for supporting an item, opposing an item for page 13, so just recognize and a copy of those comments are.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 5.2.
All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. We now move to consent agenda. The items to be pulled from tonight's consent.
Yes, items 6.1 through 6.3, 6.8 through 6.14,
I see her.
and 6.22.
It's like her grandmother died and she just
6.8 through 6.
her cool grandmother.
She took 2 dresses and makes them together.
And 20.
Is there a motion to approve the the consent agenda, except for the items that were asked to be removed.
Motion to approve agenda item
It's really cold.
6.8 and 6.14 and 6.2.
Those are the ones that are pulled.
No, those are pulled. Gotcha.
Everything except
Everything
those.
except those to be removed. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. And we move to item 6.1.
Authorize purchase orders to Florida Industrial Products, Tampa, Florida, Hughes Supply, HAJOTA, Corp. of CP, Florida, Mine and Mill Supply Company, Lakeland, Florida, Tampa Wind Supply of Tampa, Florida, and Technico Gas LLC of Lake Worth, Florida, for the supply of galvanized steel pipe and fittings in the cumulative annual not to exceed amounts of $200,000, with the option for 2 one-year renewals pursuant to invitation to bid 02-26 and authorized for business tax officer.
Good evening, Council. My name is Alex Leon. I'm the Assistant Director for CPS Energy. This item was presented at the work session on Monday the 12th. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Who here from the public desire to speak to this?
What are we doing? I don't know what our lights are.
I'm Mr. Valuva.
Mr. Halua.
This is primarily for the natural gas department. We're talking about galvanized pipe and fittings and such things for the natural gas department. Not every citizen of Clearwater has natural gas service. Many customers of Clearwater Gas don't even reside in Clearwater. Now, why does that matter? It matters because if general tax receipts from Clearwater taxpayers are being used to make these purchases, then these galvanized goods, used outside the city limits of Clearwater are only for the benefit of non-Clearwater residents. It's a misuse of funds.
Oh, just this item is 200.
And that becomes a wrongful financial burden to Clearwater taxpayers if tax money is used, but nobody can answer whether it is or not.
So that's why, like, when I sue,
It also,
sell a lot of corn for 50,000.
is a total windfall to gas customers who don't live in Clearwater. Now, since Clearwater Gas charges a fee for gas service, that makes it an enterprise-funded expense, benefiting only gas customers, no matter where they reside. Is this expenditure coming from tax receipts, which would make it wrongful?
This is like ordinary.
Or
Damn.
is it expended from gas company
That's why it's
sales receipts only? It makes a huge difference.
It's 200,000.
Anyone else here from the public would like to speak to the item 6.1? And seeing none, is there any council? There's no discussion, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 6.1.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Agenda item 6.2.
Authorize a purchase order to AECom Technical Services of Tampa, Florida for design consulting services of Clearwater Beach Gas Pipeline Intercoastal Subaqueous crossings in the not to exceed amounts of $934,000 to pursuant to request for proposal 3925 and authorize for the official execution.
Good evening, once again. My name is Alex Leon, Assistant Director for CPS Energy. This item was presented on Monday's work session. Happy to answer any questions.
We'll take public comment on this. Is there any council discussion?
I'm reading, thank you, Mayor. Saw the email and read, majority of these that are being pulled
off, I think every single one of them attached to the agenda item, if I'm not mistaken. It says that it's being paid out of the enterprise funds. Is that correct?
For 6.2, that's correct, yes.
Okay, well, 6.1 as well.
Yeah, 6.1 is 40, yes, correct.
Just want to clarify.
Any other council discussion? Hearing none, is there anyone here from the public that desires to speak to agenda item 6.2?
I'm Mr. Haluba. Mr. Menino, if these items are from enterprise funds, as you stated, why are they not listed as such on the agenda? Why are they not? That's why I'm here. I want to know where these funds are coming from. And not only that, you personally don't have such a great background on keeping track of funds. Not only should it be published what fund these are coming from, as a matter of openness in government, the amount of money in these accounts should also be published. Otherwise, we don't know what's going on. Nobody does, not even you all. But this underwater gas line, $943,000 just for consulting, not for the gas line. Well, I'm going to give you my opinion for free. Subaqueous gas intercoastal pipeline is really a foolish, bad idea. One reason is I don't know of any underwater gas customers. It may even become dangerous. I mean, what happens when it begins to leak? You know? Or you get struck by a boat. I see you smiling, Florida. Keep your head up. What if the boat is a non-Coast Guard compliant vessel? Like the Clearwater Ferry. We sure don't need any more Clearwater Ferry catastrophes. The gas line, in this instance, can be run right along the causeway. That's where the customers are, not underwater. Serve, island estates, right next to the road, and everything beyond the state.
No,
If the gas company is paying out of enterprise, it should be publicly disclosed in these documents.
Is anyone else here from the public that desires to speak to this? Councilmember Trump?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Just so everybody is clear, maybe there's just a little discrepancy in where to find that. They are published, and both agenda items have both been asked. If you go to the legislative text portion, it's on one of the pages under appropriations code. It literally says funded by revenues from the Clearwater Utility Enterprise Fund. So on both of the past brought up agenda items, it is clearly listed there on the legislative text.
And I would add on all the agenda items, we're always attachments in here, and the attachment shows entity, which one of our entities is making the purchase. Thank you for that. Any further council discussion? No, it's the motion.
Motion to approve agenda item 6.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 6.3.
Ratify and confirm an increase in the purchase order with Trillium Transportation Fuels LLC doing business as Trillium of Houston, Texas, for maintenance, remote monitoring, diagnostics, and repair services of compressed natural gas stations in the amounts of $15,575,000 and 74 cents, bringing the total purchase order amount for year one ending November 30, 2025 to $130,575.74 pursuant to ITV 61-24 and authorizing appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Alex Leon, Assistant Director for CPS Energy. This item was presented at the work session on the 12th. I'll take any questions.
Is anyone here from the public that desires to speak to Mr. Good?
snark on this lady's face.
I'm Mr. Haluva. Mr. Cotton. Where does it say on here? This is the public disclosure, not on here. Can we get that done? I mean, you're not gonna answer the question, but do any of you read the PDFs? I'm not sure you do. This item with no questions from you all is for $15,575,000
That's the clerk.
for maintenance, remote monitoring, diagnostics, repair service, all these things. And one of the biggest problems that I read into this is it's for over several years.
The subtitles on her face.
I don't see it right offhand. But most of these expenses are gonna cover several years. That's not the way it should be done. Because in several years, most of you are not gonna be here. And hopefully a couple of you will definitely not be here. So then who's gonna be watching that money? The next group? It's this money that should be appropriated on an annual basis. And if it comes from enterprise funds, it needs to be disclosed in the minutes, not in some buried document so that later on it gets lost.
Let's see it.
Cotton just said it's on there.
I don't think this, project for these compressed natural gas stations benefits anyone. I think this is a wrong guided
Yeah, I do too.
expense for, environmentally conservative, whatever. I think that's the big idea, but it's still $15 million. It could easily be saved and nobody would notice the difference. And like I say again, enterprise funding should be on the agenda as such.
That's the
Anyone
clerk.
else here from the public that I desire to speak this to? Seeing none, I guess we'll start on the, Councilmember.
Yes, sir, thank you. Again, maybe it's just a little bit confusing of where the public can find this. First off, the 6.3
Yeah.
is $15,575.74. Just for the record, not 15 million. Secondly, I just went to the City of Clearwater's website, agendas. You can go right there, find the agenda for the meeting that you wish to see. Once it fully pulls
Yeah,
up,
looking.
maybe this is where the confusion is, it gives you the details with the attachments in PDF form. If you click reports, it'll take you right there, the first thing, legislative text. It is what this is. It is what this is.
It's not on
It
here.
is what this is in digital form, and you can scroll all the way down to the areas already mentioned. So,
I know. Yeah.
thank you.
Councilmember Medina.
That's not in here.
Don't see it.
Not what he was asking.
No further discussion is done.
Move to approve agenda item 6.3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. To agenda item 6.8.
Approved an agreement with Cayenta Division of North Harris Computer Corps of British Columbia, Canada for support and maintenance, professional services, and hosted AI agent services in support of the utility billing management system for a total not to exceed amount of $1,192,873.13 for the 5-year term beginning November 1, 2025 through October 31, 2030, pursuant to Clearwater Code Board to Section 2.63.1.D, non-competitive purchase impractical, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jay Ravens, Finance Director. This item is discussed at Monday's work session, and we have to answer any questions.
Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 6.8?
Okay.
I'm Mr. Blue.
Her face, sorry. I don't think I
utility expense, if it is, you know, enterprise funded, it needs to be disclosed on the agenda. Not without, you all don't even read the PDF. So why would you expect citizens to do it? This is what they read.
But it's also
But to my point, my previous point,
under reports,
this is for pipe fittings,
contracts and stuff. Is this
billing software,
using money from here? City council is using money from
you know, other things. This is $1,192,000,
you're giving approval. It's not in
basically for software from
That's what it's
Canada.
saying, and that's not in here. Right. Right. This is just the contracts for that.
Now, also here in the meeting agenda, it states 5-year term beginning November 1st, 2025. So we're voting on something that's past tense, which is really goofy, through October 31st, 2030. You gonna be here in 2030, Slaughter? Let's hope not.
Anyone else desire to speak this evening? Hearing seeing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 6.8.
Second.
Those in favor?
Just approving it.
Agenda item 6.9.
Accept Florida Department of Transportation grant agreement amendment in the amounts of $1,100,000 for the parking lot expansion rehabilitation at Clearwater Executive Airport and authorize the appropriate officials to execute.
Good evening, Council Mayor, Mike McDonald, Marine and Aviation Director. This is to amend a current Florida Department of Transportation grant that was discussed on Monday. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone here from the public desire to speak to agenda item 6.9?
I'm Mr. Haluba, it might have been discussed on Monday, but none of you asked any questions. For instance, are there any upshots with this, you know? Do they really need a parking lot? Now, again, this is, marine and aviation is under the auspices of a utility. So if it is, you know, or if it were enterprise funds, that needs to be disclosed. Just like it's disclosed on this one, Mr. Cotton, that it is coming from FDOT. Very clear where the money's gonna come from. But there's many citizens, including myself, that don't want the Clearwater Airport expanded in any way, parking lot or otherwise. It's a noisy intrusion to many citizens' lives. I can tell you personally that they don't really stick to the hours of operation. Many citizens, including myself, would prefer to have this noisy, unnecessary Clearwater Airport just shut down completely, not expanded. This is a precursor to expanding the runway that people don't want. Accepting this FDOT grant opens a Pandora's box. It begins a slippery slide to runway expansion, which, again, most citizens do not want. But you're just gonna sit there and approve it anyway, no matter what anybody says, without any real in-depth thought on it. So just go ahead, unanimous.
Anyone else from the public tonight desires to speak? I feel like I've said this a million times, but just because no one up here asks questions about agenda items during work sessions, does not mean we have not done considerable research. And we've spoken with the staff extensively about each one of these items at one point or another. Some of them are cumulative. We've had many 2 years since 3 of us have been on here, and more since the 2 others have been on here, regarding the airport. So, this isn't something that, we need to waste everybody's time asking the same questions. I can tell you that, on average, all of us probably spend at least 2 or 3 hours a week going over the agenda, reviewing the documents that are attached, asking questions of the staff. We all have meetings twice a week with the staff, so this idea that, unless we ask questions on the record, a couple of the work session, indicate somehow that we haven't researched, and we haven't, that's just completely inaccurate. The 5 of us work very hard to know what we're talking about and know what we're voting on every time. And we've been up here, at least 3 years, 2 years. So, we've gotten to the rhythm now, and it's not always the first time we've addressed any of these agendas. So I just want the public to know, this is not accurate, what's going on. We do know what's going on. We all have a great working relationship with our staff, and we're very educated and up to date on each of these agendas. So with that, is there any council comment on this particular agenda item? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 6.9.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 6.10.
Approve a purchase order to and lease agreements with Mobile Modular Management Corporation for the lease of 1/5-wide modular building temporarily house fixed-base operator operations at Clearwater Executive Airport during terminal and parking lot construction in the amount of $147,833.16 pursuant to City Code 2.563 from 1 CPE Act and authorizing appropriate officials to execute.
Mike Dahl, Marine and Aviation Director. This is to lease a modular building to house the FBO during construction of the terminal. We will be using the FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation grant to pay for this. Do you have any questions?
Anyone here from the public that I desire to speak to this?
I'm Mr. Lula. That's the first I've heard that I was paying for this. Also, not disclosed like it should be, Mr. Cochran. But I take exception, Mr. Rector, to you saying that, you all know everything that's going on, you have all these meetings and everything. Well, that's done in the shade. That's not done in public. And therefore, there's every reason for any citizen to doubt this money that's being spent. And why and how. Let's not forget, once upon a time, Parks and Rec was operating, disclosing things that were not correct. There was money disappearing, and it went on and on for a long, long time. So how are we standing out here looking at millions of dollars being spent, supposed to rely on statements that, we met with staff and staff says we need this, and, it's comical. I don't trust you people, and I know a lot of people that don't. But this, again, is for something that most people don't want, and that is expansion of the airport. Now, you, sir, you said it was for the terminal. You used that word just now. Is it for the terminal, or is it, as stated, in the agenda, temporary housing while the parking lot is done? So now there's a question I would ask of any of you to have this man come back up here and make clear.
Does anyone else desire to speak to this? If not, is there any further council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 6.10.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Agenda item 6.11.
Authorized purchase orders for Main LP and Pasco Pipe Supply Inc. of Florida for ductile iron pipes, fittings, mechanical joint restraints, and polyethylene tubing in annual not to exceed amount of $400,000 for the term January 16, 2026 through January 18, 2027, with 2 renewal options pursuant to ITD 57-25 ductile iron pipes, fittings, and also additional sex kits.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Lake Planning, Planning Director. As discussed on Monday, this is really for the ability to make connections within our water and wastewater system. It's important for us to be able to have water that flows to our customers and wastewater that is received at the wastewater treatment facility. I'm happy to respond to any questions.
Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to the items?
I'm Mr. Kaluba, and I would absolutely agree, it's important if you're gonna bill people for the water, that it actually gets there. God, you people. This is another instance where if it is enterprise funded, it should be disclosed on the agenda, and it is not. You hold it up and show me, Mr. Cobb. It's not. You say, oh, you're gonna pull the PDFs up and look at those, and you go to the dashboard, you know, it's big on the dashboard.
He likes pictures.
But this is actually for
Pipes.
an expenditure that just needs to be disclosed as to why, you know, which of course, you know, we want to get our water, but why it is needed so badly. And it can easily be resolved, and I hope you all will do this, just put on the agenda where the money comes from. That's why I'm going through all this. And as a record, I gave you an opportunity the other day to email me and say just that, and you didn't.
Does anyone else here from the public desire to have a comment regarding this agenda? For the record, Mr. Liva, I've heard a conversation with him today, and he refused to have it, so that's what, we need to be clear about that as well. So is there any council discussion on this agenda? Okay. If not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item
Beanhouse,
6.11.
mommy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Agenda item 6.12.
Authorize an increase in a 90-day extension of the existing purchase order with Odyssey Manufacturing Company of Tampa, Florida for the supply of liquid sodium hypochlorite in the amounts of $300,000, increasing the annual not to exceed amount from $1.5 million to $1.8 million, and extending the term for 90 days through April 16, 2026 pursuant to ITD 04-23 and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Lake Planning, Interim Director of Public Utilities. The item before you is for bleach that we utilize at both our water and our wastewater facilities. It's important for us to be in regulatory compliance. We have certain standards that we have to meet. I'm happy to respond to any questions you may have.
Anyone here from the public that desire to speak to this agenda?
We want clean water.
I'm Mr. Haluka. I think this is a rather exorbitant expense for something that's fairly common, you know, chemical. And once again, if it was disclosed.
Oh, there you go, there it is.
Enterprise funded expense, I wouldn't be standing here, Mr. Cobb.
Does anyone else desire to speak to this agenda? Hearing seeing none, is there any council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 6.12.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed, unanimous. Agenda item 6.13.
Approve an agreement between Hedronics and Inc. doing business as Smart Cover Systems of Escondido, California, and the City of Clearwater Public Utilities Department for the use of Smart Cover software for online mapping and monitoring service. Continued hardware and extended warranties for all existing wastewater system units. Participation in the Smart Care maintenance program, including system troubleshooting, routine proactive maintenance, parts and labor for the term February 1, 2026 through January 31, 2028, in the amount of $438,398.64 pursuant to City Code 2.563.1, non-competitive purchase, impractical, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman Planning, and again, Interim Director of Public Utilities. These storm cover systems are, in my perspective, are excellent systems. They help us prevent sanitary sewer overflows within the wastewater system. So it helps us prevent the opportunity for wastewater to travel, the pathogens to travel into homes, into the environment, and impact our community. I'm happy to respond to any questions you may have.
Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda?
No, we need clean water. The water.
I do find City of Clearwater is so concerned about monitoring sewage when there's maybe that sort of a can be paid elsewhere. Like the streets, which any of you that drive around have noticed have taken a beating recently. It's another big expense that's gonna be an ongoing expense past most of your time here serving the citizens of Clearwater.
Does anyone else desire to speak to this agenda? Are you saying none? Is there any council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 6.13.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 6.1.
Authorized purchase orders to Core and Main LP of St. Louis, Missouri, Empire Freight and Supply Company of Sanford, Florida, Ferguson Enterprises LLC, doing business as Ferguson Waterworks of Tampa, Florida, Salem Waterworks of Charlotte, North Carolina, and Tampa Wind Supply of Tampa, Florida, for the supply of service brass and brass valves in the cumulative annual not to exceed amount of $395,000, with the option of 2 one-year renewals pursuant to invitation of bid 60-25. Service brass and brass fittings, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mike Planning, Interim Director of Public Utility. The item before you allows us to connect water lines and meters within our infrastructure. I'm happy to respond to any questions you may have.
Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda?
I'm Mr. Galuba, and this is another expense that, I don't believe is necessary. We're talking about, you know, a big expense to Empire Pipe Supply for service brass, whatever that is, brass valves. Not a tax expense, it needs to be disclosed as an enterprise funding on the agenda. Now, there's been numerous requests tonight by various utility departments for a whole pipe, hose fitting, brass, plastic, tile iron, it goes on and on. Why is all this coming to a head at this time on this evening? Did they not need these things 6 months ago? They not need them a year ago? But none of you asked these questions. They're just gonna sit there and approve it. Now, the money from these expenses, you know, for these expenses, all this piping and so forth, valves, you know, absent public disclosure, beyond meeting with, you know, staff and behind closed doors in secret, which technically is against the law, it just appears to be you know, something evil and unethical, something maybe slaughtered. But it is very interesting that the city of Clearwater spends so much time and effort on monitoring the sewer system and other utility things, given that no effort is made or has been made to verify the contractual residency requirements of the city manager.
Is anyone else here from the public tonight desire to speak to this? Hearing none, is there any council discussion?
Motion to approve agenda item.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 6.2.
Schedule a special work session on Monday, February 9, 2026 at 9 a.m. and on Wednesday, March 4, 2026 at 2 p.m. for the purpose of holding strategic planning sessions at Morningside Recreation Center. Council members, as discussed on Monday, this year staff is requesting 2 strategic plan sessions to be held at Morningside. And this is to be in compliance with council policy 3-11.
Okay. Council discussion? Is anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to this?
Here he goes. Yeah. Here he goes.
Good evening, and yes, I'm still Bill Jimison, a Clearwater Academy graduate. I want to address the amount of time that is being scheduled in these 2 strategic planning sessions by this agenda item. Last year, I personally observed the 2 strategic planning sessions that you folks made significant progress in adopting strategic objectives for the city manager. The meetings seem to be proceeding well with open discussions in front of the entire senior staff. Yet, the second meeting concluded before the top strategic priorities list was identified. I know that this is a difficult task in that you have a variety of passions for the city. Back in 2001, the city invited Dr. and Professor Lance D. Haven Smith from Florida State University to conduct a work session on governing leadership for the council. One of his messages, and the prime message, was that the council is fundamentally a collaborative body representing the community. Its greatest success from arriving at those things that have full agreement across all the council members, not those that are divided by votes. Without focused priorities, the city manager must constantly divine the mix of projects and services to allocate resources. She does this, as Mr. Margolis reported to the Citizens Academy, partially from her one-on-one meetings with the council members. In discussions with each of you, I know each of you have a passion for excellence, but without common priorities, we seem to fall short and arrive at almost good enough. Coachman Bark comes to mind as the best example of not quite good enough, yet something you all express support for. It is important for the rest of the 1,800 staff members to know your priorities so that they can support your collective wishes. Please allocate sufficient time to this important task. I assure you, it will also benefit all of the citizens as well. Thank you.
Anyone else here from the public tonight desire to speak to this agenda? Not before any comments.
I'm sorry, can you
Discussion?
Motion approved, 6.22.
Those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. 2, agenda item 6.2.
Send to the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee and adopt resolution 26
Seven
dash.
twelve.
Sorry.
Yeah, 7.12.
Sunset the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee and adopt resolution 26 dash 01.
Good evening, my name is Dylan Mayo, I'm the housing manager. On Monday, I presented resolution 26-01. The Affordable Housing Advisory Committee has concluded its work for the 2025-2026 program year, and this resolution will sunset that committee. Happy to address any questions.
We have a reading.
Mayor, we have resolution 26-01.
Just kidding. Mayor, we have resolution 26-01, a resolution of the city of Clearwater, Florida, sunsetting the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee required for purposes of the State Housing Initiatives Partnership SHIP program, providing an expiration date for terms of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee members appointed under resolution number 25-11, providing an effective date.
Anyone here from the public tonight desire to speak to agenda item 7.3? Seeing none, is there any council discussion? No, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 7.1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 7.2.
Declare surplus certain real property located at 706 North Missouri Avenue, Clearwater, Florida, 33755. Approve the transfer of property to the City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Agency and authorize your appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, council. I'm going to address this one. As our staff should know, Monday, we did put out a declaration to declare property surplus for 706 North Missouri, commonly referred to as the Armory. The proposal period for the ad actually expired on Tuesday after a meeting on Monday. So our goal is to bring the property item before you on Monday at the work session with adoption hopefully tonight. I'm here to let you know that on Tuesday, which was the last date for us to receive any letters of interest, we did receive one on the morning of Tuesday. So it's at your discretion in terms of how you'd like to proceed, but I'll defer to council if there's any procedural issues you want to discuss. Like you can either, it's my understanding, proceed tonight, or we can hold it over to the next council meeting, which will give us an opportunity maybe to provide you any feedback on what we received. We haven't really reviewed it. We have the letter. We haven't spoken with the folks who presented us with said letter of interest, but that would at least be some additional information for you to have at that time. So either way, we're in a good position to address the item as it's been presented to us.
What's the recommendation of the council?
Mayor, thank you. I think this is probably something, being as though it just came up this week, that we take the time to allow staff to do a little homework on it and read through it, fully understand the project, and the moving parts of it, and we get an updated, maybe revisit this at the next session.
All right.
I have a question. Declaring it a surplus we need to, that extra, I guess, request or submittal of interest, how does that affect us approving or not approving this item as surplus?
We're
not assigning it to anyone, we're just assigning it as a surplus to CRA.
But because the CRA is a separate legal entity, the item would transfer the property to the CRA. And so as part of the surplus declaration, it'll go together with the transfer. So I don't believe there would be any benefit to us to separate them, because ultimately, if you were to say, let's say, you could, but let's say you were to declare it surplus but not approve the transfer, you're not saving any time, you're not really saving anything. So they typically do go together. So legally, you could treat them as two separate things, but I don't know that you would necessarily either save time or benefit from that. So my suggestion would either be to, as Councilmember Menino said, to continue it to the next item, if the council would like more time to review it and would like staff to provide input, or if you are comfortable moving forward with the item as presented, and if you've had a chance to review the proposal that came in, then you could vote to approve this item tonight. But to Mr. Battle's point, it is important to emphasize that although it came in late in the process, that proposal was timely. And so I do think there's at least some responsibility on the council's part to acknowledge that proposal, and Mr. Battle did the right thing by doing that, by disseminating it to the council. So I think those are really your options. Either if you've had time to review it and you feel comfortable moving forward with this transfer tonight, you can absolutely do that. Or in the alternative, to Mr. Menino's point, you could continue it to the next council agenda item, whatever you're comfortable with. Just the only other thing I'll add on this is that I know this one feels a little bit different than some other, I would say, property transfers that we've had, because it is an internal transfer, kind of to the vice mayor's point. This is an intergovernmental transfer that I know feels like it's coming to ourselves, because it is for the city to the CRA, but technically the CRA is a separate legal entity, and if this item is approved, whether it's tonight or at the next meeting or whenever, then we will actually execute a deed from the city to the CRA. So I know it feels like it's not really transferring the property, but technically it is.
Let's move on.
You know, this has been a long time coming. I would just assume transfer it to the CRA, because I think that's our best option right now, to get it into the CRA and then decide what we're gonna do with the CRA.
I don't trust anything he's
That's
saying.
my opinion.
I think that's my question. My question was, transferring to this CRA does not assign it to anyone else. It is not an acceptance or a rejection of any proposal. It's just simply transferring it to the CRA, so we can make that decision and just transfer it without having to assign it to somebody or approve it, right?
Sometimes does that.
I know it sounds strange to say it, but you actually are accepting a proposal from the CRA
Right.
to obtain the property.
But that, we're talking about that submittal on the Tuesday.
That's correct. That's correct. There's no impact on that proposal going forward.
Okay.
So
That's
if-
my question.
Yes, if the council approves the item tonight, then we'll be in the hands of the CRA. At that point, the Community Redevelopment Act will govern the future disposition of the property. And it's not that much different from city protocols, but it does give you more flexibility in terms of how you dispose of the property. So if the vice mayor's question is whether you can approve this item tonight and still later revisit the proposal that has come in, the answer is yes, you can do that.
So then I would like to approve this,
Does anyone here from the public desire to be heard?
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I too have participated in
That name, ma'am.
Latrilla Jenkins.
Clerk her name, yeah.
Latrilla Jenkins, but in my community, they call me Miss J. Nice seeing you, Mr. Slaughter.
Oh, she knows him.
Inquiring about the it was back in the day. I was born and raised in that community. It was the National Guard Armory. James Brown and many artists came and performed. There's been many memories of me learning how to play baseball, softball, basketball in that National Guard Armory. I also was the center director for the Head Start Center that's right across from it. That was our place to go in case of an emergency, a gas leak, or we had to evacuate the building across there. I'm just inquiring whether or not has been put out to the citizens, the residents in that community of what we would like to, or do a collaboration with the city. What I'm seeing now, there's a lot of decisions being made without the input of some of the residents in our community. I remember Jack Russell Stadium with the Phillies. That's where we skated and rode our bicycles at Christmas and all that. Those are memories that are leaving. I am now retired, and I'm taking my 15-year-old and 16-year-old grandchildren, and I'm showing them the various areas of where I am. So I would also like to know who else is inquiring about that building? I see the potential of where we could have a 16-year-old when women are coming of age, or men are coming of age, or your grandpa's 75th. It could be an event hall. It's too much erasure leaving the North Greenwood community. I can remember the Child's Friendship plan over there. It's just too much. And then when the city came in, you know, everybody talks, but I'm getting back into that community. So you will be seeing me a lot. You'll be hearing me a lot. As a director, I never told staff what to do. If there was a problem or an issue, come in with a solution and we can work it out. I may be at the top, but teachers and the parents made my centers successful. I've worked from North County to South County. I've worked with birth to 15-year-olds. I did 22 years with our club, and I just retired from Head Start. And I have a good collaboration and relationship with Chief Sloan. So just put it out there in North Greenwood.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you mind filling out a comment card for us, or just for speaking, so we remember who you are, and one of us must get in contact with who you are.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else who can call and say? If not, is there a
Motion to approve agenda item 7.2.
Second?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Agenda item 7.1.
Under the annexation initial future land use map designation residential medium RM and initial zoning atlas designation medium density residential SR district for unaddressed South McMullen Booth Road, together with abutting right of way of South McMullen Booth Road, and pass ordinances 9866-26, 9867-26, 9868-26 on first reading.
Good evening, Lauren Matzke, Planning and Development. This is a voluntary annexation request for a vacant 0.64 acre parcel. It's located on the east side of McMullen Booth Road, just north of Gulf Bay Boulevard. Parcels to the north, south, and west are within the city's jurisdiction, therefore making it eligible for annexation. It will be designated with the residential medium future land use category and will be zoned medium density residential on the city zoning atlas, both of which are consistent with the current designations in the county. The Development Review Committee is recommending that a tiny little sliver of McMullen Booth Road that's not currently within the city also be annexed at this time with about 0.005 acres. Sanitary sewer is not actually readily available to this property, but the owner is aware of that, and if at any time it does become available in the future, they're aware of the fees that would be necessary to pay in order to connect, but staff does not see any impacts to city services as a result of this annexation. The request is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan and community development code, as well as Florida statutes, and staff is recommending approval.
Wow.
It's anyone here from the public who might desire to speak?
No, we don't know what she's talking about.
No, we didn't have a reason.
Mayor, we have 3 ordinances in succession. First up is ordinance number 9866-26. An ordinance of the city of Clearwater, Florida, annexing certain unaddressed real property located on the east side of South McMullen Booth Road, approximately 350 feet north of Gulf Bay Boulevard in Clearwater, Florida, 33759, together with abutting South McMullen Booth Road right of way into the corporate limits of the city and redefining the boundary lines of the city to include said addition, providing an effective date. Next up, we have ordinance number 9867-26, an ordinance of the city of Clearwater, Florida, amending the future land use element of the comprehensive plan of the city to designate the land use for certain unaddressed real property located on the east side of South McMullen Booth Road, approximately 350 feet of Gulf Bay Boulevard in Clearwater, Florida, 33759, upon annexation into the city of Clearwater as residential medium, RM, providing an effective date. finally, we have ordinance number 9868-26, an ordinance of the city of Clearwater, Florida, amending the zoning atlas of the city by zoning certain unaddressed real property located on the east side of South McCollum Loop Road, approximately 350 feet north of Gulf Bay Boulevard in Clearwater, Florida, 33759, upon annexation into the city of Clearwater as medium-density residential, MDR, providing an effective date.
Any council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 7.3.
Second.
Those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 7.4.
Approve the annexation initial feature land use map designation of residential suburban RS and initial zoning atlas designation of low density residential LDR district for 2265 North McMullen Loop Road and past ordinances 9869-26, 9870-26, and 9871-26 on first reading.
Good evening again, Lauren Maskey, Planning and Development. So this voluntary annexation request would bring in a detached dwelling located on a 1.07 acre parcel just west of McMullen Loop Road on Warren Lane, no relation. Parcels to the north, south, and west are also within the city of Clearwater, thus making it eligible for annexation. And as noted, it would be designated residential suburban on the future land use map. Residential on the zoning. The applicant is requesting city services, including sanitary, sewer, and solid waste services. And the development review committee is reviewing it, but there will be no impact to our ability to provide those services. It's consistent with the city's comprehensive plan and community development code and the Florida statutes, so staff is recommending approval.
Make it ready to do things like that.
Anyone here from the public who has to speak to this agenda?
Right now, just sitting.
Hello, my name is Joe Corey, and I represent the applicant, and I'm just here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Anyone else here from the public side? If not, may we have a reading?
Mayor, we have ordinance 9869-26 up first, an ordinance of the city of Clearwater, Florida, annexing certain real property located on the east side of Lauren Lane, approximately 550 feet west of North McMullen Loop Road, whose post office address is 2265 McMullen Loop Road, Clearwater, Florida, 33759, into the corporate limits of the city and redefining the boundary lines of the city to include said addition, providing an effective date. Next up, we have ordinance number 9870-26, an ordinance of the city of Clearwater, Florida, amending the future land use element of the comprehensive plan of the city to designate the land use for certain real property located on the east side of Lauren Lane, approximately 550 feet west of North McMullen Loop Road. His post office address is 2265 McMullen Loop Road, Clearwater, Florida, 33759, upon annexation into the city of Clearwater as residential suburban RS, providing an effective date. Finally, we have ordinance number 9871-26, an ordinance of the city of Clearwater, Florida, amending the zoning atlas of the city by zoning certain real property located on the west side of Warren Lane, approximately 550 feet along North McMullen Loop Road, whose post office address is 2265 McMullen Loop Road, Clearwater, Florida, 33759, upon annexation into the city of Clearwater as low-density residential LDR, providing an effective date.
Okay, is there any council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 7.4.
Those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 7.5.
Appointed individuals to the Marine Advisory Board with their terms set to expire on January 15, 2030. Council members, for your consideration, applications on Toby Brandenburg, Yvette Compton, David Farrar, James Sorensen, James Smith, and Eric Van Cleef.
Okay, on this one I'll go first, just because I think Monday I didn't express, really preference for any one of them. So I indicated all of them were, I thought were good, but I've had a chance to look closer at it. And I'd like to see us consider David Farrar. David served on the Code Enforcement Board. The only reason he went off that board was because he turned it out. And he led that board and just did a really good job, dedicated job. Not easy board to serve on and lead, and but he did it. And he didn't go off that long ago, now he's ready to get back and serve the community again. And then also, he lives on Island Estates, he's a landowner out there, and although we do want to keep a distribution of folks from throughout the city, on this particular board, I think having a voice out there where, you know, arguably there are more boat slips out there on, you know, separate, private, individually owned boat slips anywhere else in the city. And so the number of docks, the number of boat owners out there in that area, I think that, and David's very active in Island States Association and knows most of those boaters out there, recreates, owns a boat himself. So although there are 2 or 3 others that I think would be great too, I just, I'm persuaded to support David just because of those things I just mentioned. So, Mr. Weldon?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think all of these people that applied for this are great applicants, and thanks for asking to be of service. I know that I had said Jim Martin, I've known Jim a long time, and he owns a boat, he lives on the beach. There's a lot of people that own boats, you know, on the beach as well. But I do know David very well, and David serves his community very well, not only Clearwater, but Island Estates as well. I would be fine with David. You know, the other people that applied maybe could come into service at some other point, so I would be good with going with David.
I agree. I looked at all the applicants and I was actually quite happy with the caliber of applicants we did. But simply because I served on the board with David Farrar, and it was a difficult board, you're right, very challenging. I saw his leadership skills, his commitment, and so just based on what I witnessed, I would go with David Farrar as well.
I mean, I'm gonna stick with Mr. Bradborough, of the zip code 33765. It isn't represented, and he's been a long-term Clearwater resident since 1967 with direct marine experience and U.S. Navy service. So I respect your all's opinions, but I think that would probably be best suited in accordance with how these boards are determined.
You're always wrong, so no. You can eat daddy.
Mayor, I agree, Councilmember. I thought the same thing, and then Navy service and experience when we're talking about marine and aviation is pretty important. I think we can kind of count so that we can probably go ahead and move to approve David Farrar for agenda 7.5.
Before we do that, are any of the folks who applied, are they here tonight? Would they like to say? Is anyone here from the public like to comment on this? Well, if not, then we'll entertain the motion.
You made the motion, I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Would be for and support, and Councilmember Cotton opposed.
These clowns.
With that, we will move to item 8.1.
Area 8.1. 8.1 is a second reading, and so we'll bring that up. We have ordinance number 9858-26, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 3, Employees Pension Plan, amending Section 2.063, Qualifications and Appointment of Members, amending Section 2.411, Purpose of the Plan and Trust, amending Section 2.412, Definitions, amending Section 2.413, Plan Administration, amending Section 2.425, Pension Fund Records, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for severability, providing for a repealer, and providing for an effective date.
Is anyone here from the public desire to speak this? If not, is there any council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 8.1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 8.2.
Area 8.2 is the second reading of ordinance number 9859-26, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 6, Division 3, Purchasing, amending section 2.561, methods of source selection, repealing subdivision 5, private public partnerships, repealing sections 2.581 through 2.587, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for severability, providing for repealer, and providing for an effective date.
Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this issue? Being seeing none, is there a council discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 8.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Move to agenda item 9. City manager reports. Okay. Item 10, city attorney reports.
Nothing right.
Item 11.1, discuss city attorney search process, that's mine. Before we talk about the process, I discussed with city attorney today that perhaps it might be good to formally ratify, so to speak, what we did on Monday, and that is to formally accept his resignation effective February 9th for the terms that we discussed. Just to have it on record that we did that, and then also make it clear that we're opening it up to the next thing, which is this process that we're going to go through, to make sure that we are able to tell candidates that the position is officially open.
So moved.
Just real quick, I thought that we were still looking for, is this pertaining to the search company that we're looking for? Because we're just solely his updated resignation.
Accept his
order
resignation,
and whatever.
having the terms that we discussed, effective February 9th, so that we can tell whoever we select, or if we select.
Perfect.
And we can move forward to fill the open position.
Understood.
At this time, is there anyone here from the public tonight desires to speak for or against the motion? For or against the motion? Okay. Hearing none, is there any council discussion?
Mayor, if I may, also was discussed the item on appointing an interim city attorney. Does council want to do that as well, or is that something you want to do on another item?
I think we've got time to do that. I think I'll just take a look tonight.
I mean, I spoke with the city attorney today, and we could just, do a compounding motion that authorizes that as well as appointing Owen, which is what he stated in his letter as well. He'll just take over February 9th or 10th. Maybe the 10th.
I can amend my motion to make it a compound motion with that.
Only comment I had, it's not really for or against them, but the manager and I have also been talking about the process of making sure that Owen gets appointed successfully, and part of that could involve an employment letter or amending his employment letter. And so I think there's a couple ways that council can do this. Number one, as Councilmember Cobb said, and as Councilmember Alred just indicated, you could make a compound motion tonight. I think that's totally fine. I think that's appropriate if you choose to, making it effective February 10th. However, the disadvantage to that is that if you would like to wait, to the mayor's point, there's no immediate urgency for it. We could, at the next meeting, bring back an actual more formal employment agreement with him, so that you would see something a little bit more formal. But it's not right or wrong decisions. Manager and I talked about this. You can do it both ways. I don't want to speak for her, but I think we're both comfortable either way with that. But since you do have time, I think you could wait until the next time, or you could just do it tonight. But if you do it tonight, I think both the manager and I need to know if you would like us to bring back an amended employment letter with Mr. Kohler, or whether you'd like the motion to stand on its own. Does that make sense?
So with that, maybe letting the motion stand with the original motion and then getting the paperwork drafted so that we have that.
We'll stop in parliamentary procedure, but that's
We have
okay.
time.
We'll just go with the original motion.
Perfect.
And we'll make sure that we have it on the agenda for the next one.
Okay, so I'll drop back to my original motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay. Let's see. Yeah,
But you seconded with the change as well, correct?
No,
That's what I needed to do. Yeah.
Original.
Yeah.
No, I can comment on this when you change it.
Okay.
Yeah, So then, and the rest of it is the search process, which we decided Monday, we were going to ask HR to help us seek some more potential search companies for that. So I haven't seen anything come through. I don't know if we're making progress on that or not.
Good evening, Tiffany Mackers, HR Director. We've reached out to the 4 recruitment agencies that were mentioned at Monday's session. We've heard back from 3. The 4th one, we're still waiting, but we do have a deadline of having something from them by tomorrow. So it's a very quick turnaround. I hope to have something to share with council by tomorrow evening.
And I think we tentatively have a date for a special meeting to talk about.
Actually, I have a few dates for council to consider. So the first meeting would be, or the first date to consider would be Friday, January 23rd. That's next Friday at 3 p.m. The second one would be Tuesday, January 27th at 8 a.m. And that seems to be the one that has the most availability of everyone of council. And then Monday, February 2nd at, which is the regularly scheduled work session, either before or after the scheduled work session.
If the 27th is really the most availability, that would be fine.
I think it gives us enough time to get over the next council agenda as well.
I will not be here, will be
I was told 8 o'clock a.m. would still work for your schedule. It shouldn't take too long. Okay. That's okay.
I'm going to move the flights around. Is it calling me too late for everyone?
I would like, personally, I'd like to do it sooner rather than later, so one of the first 2 for me. And I think I'm available on all of them.
23rd, I'll be at St. Louis.
Is it 27th?
Thank you, 27th. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, with that, we'll move to item 12 on the agenda, closing comments by council members.
First meeting of the new year. Thank you all for standing by and coming out tonight and look forward to what 2026 has to bring for the city of Clearwater, for everything we have to look forward to. So wishing everybody a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2026.
What am I?
Yeah, I'd like to, on the next work session, I'd like to add a discussion regarding a resolution opposing inclusion of new offshore oil and gas leasing off the coast of Florida.
Ooh.
I know the feds are talking about doing this and opening up. Florida right now is pretty clear, but if they come in, I don't want to see any of that. You know, our main industry here is tourism, and we've been affected by oil spills before, and it has not been pretty. And so I'd like to, I guess I sent you a resolution that can be modified, but it can be, you need to read it because it'll be signed by you and supported by city council. But if we could put it on the next work session and talk about it, I think I'd like to have that.
I don't have a problem with short term.
Well, welcome back from all the holidays. I want to take this opportunity to share with you all something important.
Shut.
My family, like many others, are navigating the challenges that come with aging parents. In our case specifically, a parent facing an aggressive illness. After speaking to my family and the healthcare workers last night, and having much reflection, I made the very difficult decision to not seek a second term. So that I can focus on my family.
But we like you.
At this point. This does not mean that my love or passion for this city has diminished in any way. It just means that the journey I'm on right now will not allow me to commit to this position in the manner that I think it deserves.
Been there, done that.
I'm not going away. I will continue to contribute in any way that I can, just not in this role. With that in mind, I have a lot of people to thank. My family, who has been with me every inch of the way. The staff, been welcoming, very welcoming, and quickly became part of my life. First responders, both the CPD and the fire, great group of people that I'm very proud of. And last but never least, thank you to the citizens for the privilege of allowing me to serve this great city. The honor has meant the world to both myself and my family and will stay with us a lifetime. I will leave this position grateful, proud, and forever inspired by the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Very difficult decision for you, we know. And I don't have any closing comments other than say that, you know, tonight we should have thought before we came in here that you were going to make that statement. And, I just want you to know that not just the council, but the whole community has come to love you for your service to the city, and thoughts and prayers on you and your family. We know this is a very difficult decision for you, and it's been very difficult for you to talk about tonight. But we will be there with you as colleagues and friends, and the many friends you have in this community to help you and your family through it.
Bunker, bunker, bunker.
I want to say we appreciate you so much. And our thoughts and prayers are with you as you work through this with your family.
Thank you.
With that, we will adjourn the meeting of January 15th, 2026.
Woo woo. Uh-oh.
I'd like to make a public apology to Dave Albritton.
Oh.
We adjourn the meeting.
Oh. Who's gonna wear ugly shirts?
Did we see what we were supposed to say?
That was a really boring meeting.
Oh, okay.
But we just need them to see our faces every time, though.
Oh, okay.
We just need to be showing up every time so they know who we are and why. So who's going to wear the fancy shirts?
Not tonight. Easy. At least my chat street caught me snoring. They're like, is that Eric snoring?
Were you snoring?
Yeah, I just
thought
started.
so. I thought so.
I was gonna let her rip. I was comfortable and warm. I was like, oh, man, let me just catch a couple Z's here.
You're going to take a nap?
I was asking.
Oh, look, he's actually apologizing to him. See, you know, sometimes grown-ups, when they get things wrong, they can go to the source, the person that they have a disagreement with, and apologize. Isn't that an amazing concept? Oh my God. That makes him smell like a toilet. I swear to God. I don't know what he had for breakfast, but it was bad.
From my home, and it's like, it would be nice to go, but I work during, you know, what is it, 9 a.m. or 2 p.m.
Okay, this guy arrested Erica. And that one there with the dark hair, he's the one that trespassed me, Banks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You still alive?
Yeah, I'm still alive, yeah.
My phone died, I'm sorry.
Hi,
Hi, love you.
No, you do.
Wait, which way is your camera? Oh, okay,
This
yeah,
way.
my phone died, so,
I
sorry.
know, you were only on 3%. Go.
Okay, guys.
I live my
Keep it
life
up.
on 3%, okay?
You gotta
Well, I think I'm
charge
gonna
up
left
before you come
my
home.
bag with the extra batteries at your house.
Okay, see, I have to show this every time because it drives me mad. It's Robbie Burns.
Who's that?
My dad thought he was the reincarnation of Robert Burns,
Wait,
the
your dad
Scottish
thought, like,
poet.
he was? But he
Yeah.
was something?
So my dad thought he made up all these things. He thought he was this guy. Oh, I even look like him. No, you don't. That's Robert Burns.
Oh, did the guy walk into to the door like he did me?
I was like, I'm not gonna
Ooh.
Nice. I got a spot right over there, and then the security guard walked me all the way down here.
You went to a city council meeting?
Oh, that's going to be a 4-hour thing. Oh, and he was wearing a jacket, and that jacket was
Not a jacket.
bad. And
And
he was breathing.
Appropriately tomorrow.
oh yeah, we're going to wear thermal underwear tomorrow.
I'm wearing my
Tomorrow's
short
going to be chilly.
There's a wind chill right now.
The wind is making it worse.
When we're standing out there.
You be out there like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna need my Scottish coat tomorrow.
Yeah, just not a kilt. I love this jacket.
I know, right?
That's the, wait, you gotta flap it.
4 to 6.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But this is
You gotta
even
get
cute. This
angry.
has got things on it too. This has got ties in the front, ties in the back, and a hoodie. And thummy things.
Oh yeah. All my all my clothes had dummy things.
Hello, Germany. All right, kids. Well, that was really boring. We have to keep coming back. They
Dude, the
have to
security
keep saying
guard
this.
told me it was 5
There he is.
hours long, and I was like, please God no. I will take myself out in the
No,
building.
that was when we did when we were fighting for Garden Street. That one took 5
okay.
hours. There's a couple of them when we're like that, yeah, but these are just your
Yeah,
regular.
okay.
We're
'Cause I
laying
was like,
pipes.
I'm not gonna
No one
make it for
cares.
5 hours.
Protest. I will see you tomorrow.
Oh, see, even being
All right,
this
see
cold
you
hurts
tomorrow,
my bones.
kids. See you mañana.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, Lula.
Had that really fantastic experience.
Bye, Lula.
I thought Aaron was talking. And I was like, when does he go up?
No,
Goodbye,
this wasn't a
Bye.
talkie session. 20 inches of snow? No. It's really cold here, you guys.
And then I
It
thought-
really is. Like, what's the temperature with the wind chill?
Oh, it's freezing.
0.
I don't know if the wind chill.
Oh my God, it's
50.
Enough to
It's got to be 40.
it's got to be in the 40s because this is not even funny.
It's not even like.
It's really cold here.
Yeah, this is
That was
straight.
boring, but we got to keep coming back. They got to see our faces because we're going to be here at every work meeting or whatever
Bye.
to,
Are we this way?
yeah, we're over here to make sure that they don't take, the Scientology doesn't take Garden Street, Garden Avenue, and you know, all that good stuff. Now, it's really sad that Tashera, she's the one that took Aaron's spot when he was running for council, city council.
Oh.
And it's sad she has a family member that's not well. Been there, done that. Did you guys see her dress tonight? It was that collar. What was going on there? There was like so many things happening. It's like she got 2 dresses out of her grandma's closet and put them together. I couldn't quite figure out. But we'll miss her. But this gives Mark Bunker more room to run. So I think
And
Mark
run
Bunker
he
now has
shall.
a choice of 2 seats. So that'll be good. But other than that, thank you guys for coming in and hanging with us. I know it was a little boring tonight, but you know.
I thought you were going up to talk, baby. I was hanging out so long. I'm like, Cheryl will come soon, man.
And you fell asleep.
Oh, I read something as I was dozing off hard. And I think it was Sue Irwin.
No, that was you.
Oh, dude. I think I saw it half a log before.
That's so funny, honey. The District Bistro? Oh. Look. Is that something?
Oh, Fugazi Boulevard.
Oh, gotta turn the heat on. It is so cold. Oh my God. Yeah, you're on the wrong side, honey. You're not driving. It's me. Oh.
All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Signing off. I will
So,
catch you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be really
For the
good.
protest. It will be off the chain.
Feral Friday protest tomorrow at Flag.
And
We'll
I will
rock
see
it
you
out. We're
soon.
going to freeze our asses off, but I'm taking hot chocolate so we can all stay nice and
Until next
toasty. Until next time. You guys be nice to each other. I love you.